Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and on today's episode, we've got a college student who left their car out behind their house, and it started snowing like crazy way early this winter, and their car's been stuck. Well, the landlord's making him move out tonight, and they've called me over to see if I can help them get 2 cars that have been stuck in their yard for a few months out of their yard. That way they don't get in trouble with their landlord. Let's hit the road and see if I can help this college student out. This 1980s Corvette has been running real rough for a couple of years. It's been a project for this student while they've been in college, and they've replaced pretty much everything on it and tested all the components. Compression test is fine, everything's fine, so I've been called out to see if I can readjust the timing since that's the last thing left to do. Alright, here's my first look at the distributor. It looks like it should be working. The vehicle owner says they replaced all the spark plug wires, so I've just got to get that bolt loose down there and a connector loose, and we should be good to time this. Pretty much everything except for the timing has been done and checked on this car, and it just hasn't run well. It drove into this spot and then stalled out. Alright, I've got that timing light set up. The timing mark on the flywheel now is at 2 degrees set, so I'm going to set that to 6 as this sticker indicates. So the car will idle and then it stalls out if you actually try and move it. So we can get it running to check the timing. All I have to do is get this distributor bolt loose. Not much. Still doesn't want to. Why is that so tight? Alright, after quite a while of trying to use some stubby wrenches in the confined space, I was starting to round off that bolt. It was put in way too tight last time, which makes me think maybe that's why it has some issues. At least that's atypical for somebody who's used to working on cars. Usually you don't over tighten bolts that sensitive. So I'm going to have to run back across town and grab some crow's foot sockets. I have some special sockets for this. I don't want to round out that bolt anymore, and that's the best bet from here. That distributor bolt's really hard to get to. This video is sponsored by Weber. This is a Weber 3-ton jack. Real low profile. I'm taking this out on the jobs with me today. Let me give you a good little look at it here real quick. And when we get over there, I'll show you a little bit better what it does. Well, here we are with the Weber jack again. This video is sponsored with the Weber jack. I'm just getting wrapped up here on this job. It's looking nice and good. I've been out here for an hour or so getting this done for a customer whose car was stranded. It's got full metal casters here. And that's super important whenever you have 6,000 pounds on top of your jack. This is a 3-ton jack. Low profile. It feels really robust without adding any extra weight. I'll tell you, compared to other popular similar jacks, this one doesn't weigh anything more than any other ones I've picked up. It's dual piston here, so it actually raises up really fast. The absolute best thing I love about this jack is my pad right here doesn't pop out by itself. Another thing I really love about this jack are these carrying handles on the side, because I'm always putting one in the back of my Ranger. This makes it super easy to pick up. I would buy this jack for those handles alone. Look how fast this thing raises up. If you're interested in this jack, check out the link in the pinned comment and the description. Now, first I've got to get this car out of the snow, and then we've got to get it jacked up so I can see what's wrong with it. Now, after I used my small truck to drag that other car out of the snow, we used the jack to put it on jack stands. That way I can crawl underneath it and get a better look at what's going on. That was actually really hard to get out of the snow. They had a tow truck try and get the last car out, and it left huge divots, so they were pretty happy I didn't mess up the yard. It just took a couple of minutes of spinning around in the snow to get that car pulled forward. While the customer fills it up with oil, I'm gonna go look at the Corvette. Damn, down here. Don't be latched. Nice. All right. Perfect. Let's just add that back. Starting to get covered in snow. It's gonna happen fast. Here's a crow's foot wrench. I think this is what I need to get that off for sure. There it goes. Started to move a little. See if I can get that off. That's good. So I can barely turn it there by hand. And When the customer gets back, we'll get this running. Let me show you that timing mark, and we'll time it. Okay, and there's that timing mark on the main balancer there. I've got the cylinder number 1 set on top dead center here. I pulled out that spark plug yesterday, and just want to make sure that plug, that wire's on there good. So that was a coincidence. I was just tapping it over to see if I could see the timing mark. I just wanted to make sure it was highlighted, and it is in yellow. But when I tapped it over, it landed on top dead center, so that was nice. All right, well, I'll show you when this is idling, and we'll set the timing real quick. Let me put up my tools and grab my timing light. Just in case you were wondering, I only buy the best products for my hobbies. I guess you could call fixing a car a hobby. I wonder if this is the same brand. Probably not. Ooh, forgot my sunglasses this time. Dang. All right, I've got that light set to 6 degrees. That's what we need. All I've got to do is turn it on and adjust that distributor until that timing mark starts appearing on that 0 degree mark on the... Oh, cool. Perfect. So the vehicle owner shows up and we get that timing set. However, it's still stalling out as soon as you try and put it into gear and put any sort of weight on that clutch. They think it might be out of fuel, so they're going to go get some more. My job with this one is done as well as I can do it. I'm going to look at an oil leak on this car as well. It was overfilled at some point, and then it started to leak oil, but we drained it, or it was drained. So they're getting oil to fill it up, and we'll see if it runs. I turned it over by hand. It didn't feel seized up. If we can see when I can tell where oil's coming from. It's too dry to tell now. Or in other words, everything's so covered in oil that I can't tell what's fresh. So the Corvette actually never ended up running better, and they had to get that towed away that night. I looked at the Volvo, and while it puked out a ton of oil somewhere, I couldn't tell from where. We filled it up with a normal amount and the oil stayed in it. The crank ended up sounding super uneven. I told the customer it was going to need a compression test in order to verify whether or not one of the rods got bent. But they had to tow it away tonight as well, so both got put on the tow truck, and that was all I could do. Subscribe and like the video and leave a comment if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next episode of Roadside Rescue.